Welcome to another episode of Football Scientific on a long Football Tuesday. Today I'm joined by Wolfie D. What, my peoples? And we are talking about NFL, CFL, UFL, IFL, NAL, and ELF football today on Football Scientific. Also check out Wolfie D's new hit single, Gridiron Grit, starring Corky. I'm so short. We made a short tonight. Someone said we should make a rap song. It might go viral. We made a short. Wolfie D and Corky recorded it this afternoon, and they blew it up. And I was there as their hype man. What? Hitting them up with a hype, you know what I'm saying? So that was a pretty good time. You should check out the video. It's a short we made, okay? All right. What we're going to do today is we're going to go through our predictions that we made in the NAL, IFL, and UFL and see how we did. It was a little better than last week, and I'm going to go through my IFL Power Rankings. We're going to go through some UFL news. We're going to go through some NFL news. We're going to go through some CFL news, and finally some NAL transactions that are important for this weekend. All right. First, Wolfie D, you got anything to add? Let's get to our power rankings on the IFL. Let's get to our IFL Power Rankings. So first, I just want to say in the NAL last week, we went 2-1. We went 2-1. That puts us at 8-4 for our predictions in the NAL. Okay, so we're 8-4 in our predictions in the NAL. It's coming around at 75%. 90% is our goal. We're getting there. We're getting there. There's 2 games this week. One's gonna be on Thursday, so we're doing our NAL predictions tomorrow. The other one's on Saturday, but we're gonna do our NAL predictions a day early. And then the IFL has 5 games coming up this week. We went 4-2 in the IFL. 4-2. Yeah, we went 4-2. But because we went 1-2 last week, that was before me. That was Timmy, man. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay, so that was before Wolfie D. But we went 1-2 last week, and then this week we went 4-2. That puts us at 5-4. 5-4. Roughly a 55% winning percentage. We're getting there. It's better than a 33%. It's getting there. It's coming around. By the end of the 5 games this week, if we go 5 for 5, we're going to be 10-4, and that's going to be pretty awesome. Let's get it done. And then UFL. I kicked the desk. The UFL. Some surprising findings. I was not expecting the Brahmas to come lay an egg. Ever see a bull lay an egg? Is that some poop? Is that a poop joke? No, it's not a poop joke. They laid an egg in the game, and they got beat. They got beat by the Arlington Renegades, okay? And then DC Defenders came out and blitzed right through the Birmingham Stallions and knocked them off. So I went 2-2 in the UFL. As we go and get more data points, as you saw in the NAL, as I get more data points, my predictions get better, and we'll eventually get to that 90% success rate. It may take a few weeks, though, since we started so poorly. Again, the third league we started poorly on. Hopefully we can get it right for the CFL season. Right? Well, Wolfie D, that's right. Let's get it right for the CFL. Go Tiger Cats. Okay, go Tiger Cats. Okay, so first IFL predictions. No, IFL Power Rankings. Sorry, IFL Power Rankings. It's Tuesday night, okay? First of all, the last IFL game for week 2 was played last night. The Vegas Nighthawks visited the San Diego Strikeforce. It was late last night. Most of that game, the Strikeforce were winning. It looked like I was going to take another loss. 3-3, which would have been SAG. Losing record for the IFL. But then, as predicted, the Vegas Nighthawks came alive, and it became a shootout. And they won 48-41. Whoop, whoop. Let's go Vegas Nighthawks. They won 48-41 over the San Diego Strikeforce on a Monday night. Okay, what happened? San Diego was coming out. They're hot. They're playing good defense, playing good offense. Vegas was struggling. Jerome Johnson was the only weapon clicking. And then suddenly, second half, after having a halftime lead, San Diego kind of shot themselves in the foot, penalties and turnovers. And Vegas took over, and they intercepted the pass for a touchdown, and they blew it up. And then Vegas is too good of a team to make a bunch of mistakes against. If you have them down, you have to finish them, San Diego Strikeforce. I'm glad they didn't, though, because I had Vegas Nighthawks winning that game, and they won 48-41. Okay, all right. So with that in mind, IFL Power Rankings for Week 3, going into Week 3. Number 1, I still the Arizona Rattlers as the top team in the league. Okay, why? They have 2 championship-level quarterbacks, Drew Powell, Dalton Sneed. They got a good running game. They got a sound defense. They're a tough team. They're going to be tough unless they get hit by injuries. I said until they do, because last year they got hit hard by injuries and they dropped way down. So until that happens, they're going to be really good. Hopefully, someone beats them. But I don't bet on it. Okay. Jacksonville Sharks are my number 2 team, still 1-0. They beat Massachusetts Pirates. They play a big game this week as they'll face the Vegas Nighthawks. We'll figure out exactly how good both those teams are real quick. That will shake up the power rankings potentially if the Vegas Nighthawks win that. Number 3, Tulsa Oilers. They didn't play this week, but they got a big win against San Antonio Gunslingers. And if the Gunslingers would have came out and really played poorly, that would look bad on Tulsa, but this Gunslingers won the game. They beat Bay Area Panthers, which is a big win for them on the road. Quad City Steamwheelers, they are 2-0, but they have won by a nail biter both times against Green Bay Blizzard and Massachusetts Pirates. So they are number 5, but they are they're not the best team, but they're pretty good. They do enough to win. And you got to do that sometimes. San Antonio Gunslingers, they're 1-1. They beat the Bay Area Panthers 28-21. Bay Area had a chance to come back and steal that game, but the Gunslingers held on and won on the road. It's a huge road win. Okay, number 7, Green Bay Blizzard. They hung on against the Iowa Barnstormers. I expected them to dominate the Iowa Barnstormers, honestly. I thought they would move up this list pretty far, but they didn't dominate them. They got a big lead, 52-33. And they took the foot off the gas, and they almost blew the lead. They almost lost the game to Iowa. So Iowa was my last place team, but that's changed a little bit now. Number 8, our big climber of the week, Fisher's Freight, has climbed to number 8. Why? Because they upset the Northern Arizona Wranglers, and they had an offensive burst. They similar to that game with Vegas and San Diego. Early on, Northern Arizona Wranglers came out and took a lead. It looked like they were going to control the game, and then Fisher's Freight came on in the second half. Northern Arizona made a bunch of mistakes, and Fisher's Freight, Jaya Wright at quarterback, he proved me wrong for being a backup. He blew it up, and they won the game. 1-0 for the Fisher's Freight, the expansion team. Nice job. Hopefully that's not the only win they get. That happens sometimes. You win the first game. Bay Area Panthers, when they were an expansion team, they won the first game and lost the rest of the games. Same for Northern Arizona, so we'll see. Okay, they play a tough team this week, too. They have someone coming to the house. Tulsa, I think. That's going to be a really tough match. Good, probably a great defensive duel, honestly. Okay. Number 9, San Diego Strike Force. Like I said, they had a big lead. It was like they were going to take that game, and then in the second half they fell apart. I got them at number 9. Okay, Bay Area Panthers, I have at number 10. They definitely fell flat against San Antonio Gunslingers. I figured they were going to come out with a good defense, good offense, but instead, Gunslingers controlled that game the whole way. They were up 28-14 in the fourth quarter, but then Bay Area scored, and then they almost scored again to tie it up. But I heard they were going to go for 2 and try to get the win. But Bay Area, disappointing start. Okay, Massachusetts Pirates 0-2, definitely a disappointing start. They didn't get blown out this week. Quad City barely beat them by like 2 points, but it was still they lost at home. Usually they're very good at home and not so good on the road. But they lost at home twice this year to Jacksonville and Quad City. So, they're struggling. Kenji Bahar is not playing well, okay? And they're really missing Jimmy Robinson at running back. Iowa Barnstormers moved up from 14-12. A good showing against Green Bay. Now, it wasn't that great of a showing. I felt like Green Bay had control of the game, and then they let it go. They quit playing and let it go. And Iowa got themselves back into it at the end. But I got them at 12. They moved up from 14-12. I got Northern Arizona down to 13. They maybe had 13 last week. I had low hopes for them. Fisher's Freight, great win by them. Northern Arizona Wranglers are basically an expansion team too. They got a new coach, they got new owners, new players. They might have some new GMs and stuff. That's all very new at Northern Arizona. They're kind of starting over. They're a rebuild mode, but they're at 13. And then Tucson Sugar Skulls fell to the Arizona Rattlers in a convincing 56-28. I figure it's going to be a tough season for Tucson Sugar Skulls. I just don't see it. I don't see them having what it takes to be a playoff team. They may be a 4 or 5 win team if they really get it going. That's not going to make the playoffs. They also might be an 0-15 team. So it's hard to say. We'll see. All right, so that's my IFL Power Rankings, and Vegas now has beat San Diego Strike Force. Next, in the UFL, late last night, that's why I didn't report out last night, San Antonio Brahmas released tight end Isaiah Gathings. He went to Middle Tennessee State. I suspect they're going to add someone maybe on the offensive line. I don't know. I didn't see anything tonight before I went on for the episode. So if I have something, I'll have it tomorrow. Maybe write an article tomorrow. If I see it in the afternoon, I'll have more time tomorrow. But they definitely released tight end Isaiah Gathings. And the Birmingham Stallions moved tight end LaMichael Petway to the injured list. That means he's out for at least 5 weeks if he comes back this year. He played at Iowa State. So that's a loss for the Birmingham Stallions. Also, I saw Houston Roughnecks today sign defensive end Tayshawn Bauer. He's an NFL veteran. He played for the Vikings, Ravens, and Patriots. So that's a big pickup for them. Maybe it's going to help them get a little better. I don't think they're one guy away from being good. But he may attract a little attention. That'd be good for them. Okay. All right. NFL, Baltimore Ravens. They would really like to get a long-term deal with running back Derrick Henry. He had a great year with them. They had a deep run in the playoffs. Got beat by Buffalo, but they want Derrick Henry back to pair with Lamar Jackson. Makes their offense really tough to stop. They're trying to get a long-term deal with Derrick Henry. Okay. Defensive line John Kaminsky, who spent 5 years in the NFL, partially with the Detroit Lions and Atlanta Falcons. He split time on both. He's retired. In 57 games, he had 7.5 sacks, 107 tackles, 25 quarterback hurries, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery. He's retired. Carolina Panthers have reached agreement with running back Raheem Blackshear for 1 year. New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft announces that former head coach Bill Parcells will be inducted to the Patriots Hall of Fame. That's cool for him. He got the Patriots to the Super Bowl back in the Drew Bledsoe days. In the 90s, they lost that Super Bowl, but Bill Parcells got him there. This is only the second time they'd gone to the Super Bowl before Bill Belichick, ran off 6 Super Bowl wins with them. So cool for Bill Parcells. He's one of my coaching heroes. Let's go, Bill Parcells. Boom. All right. Okay, Atlanta Falcons head coach Raheem Morris was asked about Kirk Cousins, where now he thinks he'll be at voluntary OTAs. He said he does not expect Kirk Cousins to be at voluntary OTAs. He would be silly to think he would be there, because Kirk Cousins wants to be traded. Today at the NFL meetings, there was a series of rule changes made. And a change that was made in overtime. Now in the regular season, previously you had a 10-minute overtime the last couple of years, and if a team scored a touchdown, overtime was over, sudden death. But if they kicked a field goal, the other team would get a possession and try and get a touchdown or a field goal. They'd go back and forth if neither team scored for 10 minutes. They're keeping it a 10-minute overtime, not extending to a 15-minute, as was talked about. But now both teams, no matter what, get a possession. So it makes it like overtime in playoffs, like in the Super Bowl, where the 49ers got confused. Is that you basically play it like a quarter again. You go through it, you play, each team gets a possession, and you play until the tie is broken. So that's an overtime. And that's going to be, both teams get a try now, no matter what happens, okay? Next, the NFL is expanding the league replay assist system called the Hawkeye system. That's a cool name. Hawkeye system. It's going to help them spot the ball with measurements. UFL uses something like that already. They use a system similar to that. I forget what it's called. But they use a system like that to make sure the calls are good. UFL is very big on making sure referees are right. So they use a bunch of referee assistants, including making all their challenges live so you can watch the process. The NFL probably needs to do some stuff like that because people think the games are rigged. So it'd be great to be able to see inside the booth while they go through the instant replay. But the Hawkeye system, replay assist, will be helpful. Boom, the tush push was up for a vote to ban the tush push. It went 16-16, I heard, on the vote. That's not enough. You need... what do you need? You need 24-8 to have something go through in the NFL from the owners, and it went 16-16. So they tabled that for discussion at the end of May. I don't think they're not gonna ban the tush push. I don't think. Okay, it's just a wedge play, y'all, with someone pushing. Get over it. Learn how to stop at defenses. Okay, Detroit Lions had proposed to eliminate automatic first downs as a penalty for defensive holding and illegal contact, but it did not pass. So what did they do that for? Why did they go for that? Because they want to be able to rough up your receivers. Detroit Lions want to rough up your receivers. And defensive holding is just an automatic. It's an automatic first down if you get called for defensive holding or illegal contact to your receivers. Okay. They wanted that to not be the rule. They wanted to go make it a spot foul, like the pass interference is now a spot foul. but no one went with that. So I'm glad they didn't do that. Detroit wanted to cheat. They wanted to win the Super Bowl one way or another. Boom. Another thing that passed, NFL kickoff. Now the new touchback is if you kick the kickoff and they get a touchback, it's going to the 35-yard line. That's trying to encourage people to return the kicks. Although someone made a good point today throughout the day that if you a returner wants better field position, he would just not field it and it would still go to the 35. That'd be way better field position. So it may not work on getting more returns. The only way it's going to work to get more returns is if the kickers don't kick it through the end zone. What they should have done, instead of putting the touchback on the 35, keep it at the 30 and move the kicker back to the 20. UFL did that. They got a lot of returns. Okay, they are using the XFL kickoff, and the UFL is using the XFL kickoff. So you might as well move the kicker back to the 20, and that fixes the problem. And you don't need to make anything weird. You don't need to make any gimmicky rules. Okay, onside kicks. People wanted to modify that, so it goes back to you can do an onside kick anytime, which is hard to do in the new kickoff format. So impossible to do. So they wanted to change that to make it modified, but they tabled that. They couldn't decide. So they were like, we can't do it. We don't know. Let's not change it. Let's check it out in May. Okay. Dallas Cowboys are finally making some progress with defensive end Micah Parsons. They are starting to offer him what could be a huge contract. So I saw a groundbreaking contract in the works. Earlier today, I heard they were not negotiating with him, and I heard they are, and it's going to be a groundbreaking, record-setting contract that makes him the highest non-paid quarterback in the history of the NFL. It's going to be done by camp week, by training camp, so that's the deal. We'll see if it pays off for him. Last time they did that, did not. That was DeMarcus Lawrence. Did not pay off for him. Lots of injuries after that. New York Giants head coach Brian Daboll is getting a lot of pressure to not be the offensive coordinator for his team, the New York Giants. People want him to, pass that off and delegate like play calls to someone else so he can focus on the game. But he said he's going to check. He's going to revisit this before the preseason. In the preseason, he'll figure out if he wants to call plays or not. Still, I think he likes calling plays. Okay, Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver Chris Godwin is still going to be out with a dislocated ankle. Todd Bowles said he's not sure when he'll be back. But oddly enough, on the same team, cornerback Bryce Hall also has a dislocated ankle, and he's now running full speed on it, Todd Bowles said. So I think Todd Bowles is putting some pressure on Chris Godwin because Chris Godwin has a dislocated ankle, and he says, I don't know what I can do, and it's probably still hurt. I'm probably still hurt. But cornerback Bryce Hall says, I'm not hurt anymore, and it's the same injury. But no one's the same, so whatever. That doesn't mean anything, but it's still a point someone made. That makes it sound fishy that Chris Godwin's still out with a dislocated ankle when his teammate is ready to go. Washington Commanders, offensive tackle Brandon Coleman. He played left tackle for the Commanders last year, but since they picked up Laramie Tunsil and then trade with the Houston Texans, Laramie Tunsil is going to be left tackle, so Brandon Coleman's agreed to move to right tackle. And that's a decrease in pay. That's what that is. Okay, all right. Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's still talking about Aaron Rodgers. Pittsburgh Steelers owner Art Rooney II keeps hearing that Aaron Rodgers is headed into their direction. We don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. He played after DK Metcalf. We don't know what that means. No one knows what that means. We'll see is what it means. But it sounds like Pittsburgh is still like, we think he's going to come here. Maybe. So they're just chilling and waiting. August 21st is that deadline they set. Arizona Cardinals, 6-time Pro Bowler defensive lineman Calais Campbell is going to get a one-year deal for $5.5 million to return to Arizona. They did not re-sign him for long term, but they did a one-year deal with him, $5.5. It's a perfect contract. We'll see if he comes out and has a good year. Okay, Dallas Cowboys, like I said, are offering edge rusher a groundbreaking contract in the near future before training camp starts. And it should make him the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL history. That's crazy. Baltimore Ravens kicker Justin Tucker is doubtful for being available in the fall. So it sounds like Baltimore may be considering drafting a kicker at some point in time, which you don't see a lot. But remember that Justin Tucker had a bunch of accusations similar to Deshaun Watson about sexual assault and misconduct with his massages. So, that's creepy. Creepy dude, Justin Tucker. Don't be doing that. Okay, all right. NFL uniform policy. NFL said, hey, they're going to allow teams to wear their throwback or alternate uniforms up to 4 times this year. That's a lot more than what they've been doing. I think it was once last year. You can do a throwback and alternate uniform. So that means we're going to get more Cincy White Tiger looks on the road. That'd be pretty cool. Those White Tiger uniforms are pretty cool. I really like them. What do you think? What do you think, Tiger? What do you think about more Cincy White Tiger uniforms? I think they're overrated. I like the orange and black. Go orange and black. No reason to change it up, Bengals. Go more orange and black. Go all orange and black. Color rush uniforms. That would be better, not White Tiger. Thank you. Thanks, Tyler, for mentioning that. Okay, so he wants the orange and black. They usually go black jerseys and orange stripy thick pants and stuff, but I do like the White Tiger look. Cleveland Browns signed wide receiver DeAndre Carter, 1-year contract. Tennessee Titans re-signed defensive back Justin Hardy. That's your NFL news, okay? All right, CFL, some signings happened. Ottawa Redblacks signed American defensive line DeAndre Johnson. Winnipeg Blue Bombers, they signed 2 people, American linebacker Drayton Hall and American defensive lineman Marquise Lawson Greenwood. Montreal Alouettes signed American wide receiver Cam Johnson. And Hamilton Tigercats signed another American defender, American linebacker Chris Russell Jr., which they need help in their defensive front 7. So, they signed a defensive lineman yesterday. I wrote an article about that, and I'm probably going to write an article tomorrow about Chris Russell Jr. being signed. He's 6'1", 235. He spent some time with the Green Bay Packers. He was also 24-5 practice squad. He played at Texas A&M, played 58 games, had 60. He's not the most productive linebacker I've seen from Texas A&M, but they need some help at linebacker. So let's go Tiger Cats. Okay, and then last but not least, NAL transactions. The Shreveport Rougarou are getting crazy involved with transactions. I think they're trying to improve their team quickly. They want people to keep, they have a pretty good attendance. They want people to keep coming to the games. They want to be a contender in their conference with Carolina and Columbus. So they're making some moves. I mentioned yesterday they had done a trade with the Carolina Cobras to get Vincent Espinoza. And they sent a running back to the Carolina Cobras. Carolina Cobras have released that running back. They did not want him. And the Shreveport Rougarou have traded Vincent Espinoza to the Columbus Lions, which is really interesting because he played against the Columbus Lions. That's who got him fired by getting shut out. And now he's went to Shreveport and now to the Columbus Lions. They're going to have all the game plan and stuff from Carolina, I guess. That's crazy. So Rougarou are making moves. Rougarou! Okay. Columbus Lions have also signed quarterback Isaac Williams. One thing I see in the NAL is if teams don't do well one week, they're quick to make changes. Okay, it's a revolving door of personnel in the NAL, similar to the IFL. If a guy falls on his face and does not do well, they're going to replace you. Marcus Brooks had a really good game against the Carolina Cobras 2 weeks ago. He had a way less good game last week, and they're already picking up new quarterbacks. They got Vincent Espinoza and now Isaac Williams. And they also obtained quarterback Vincent Espinoza. So they're making some moves. The Shreveport Rougarou are not done. Rougarou! They made some other moves. They picked up wide receiver John Williams. They signed defensive back Deron Maxwell. And they signed offensive lineman Kyle Lester. Okay? And then the Carolina Cobras released wide receiver Donovan Johnson and running back Ladarius Galloway, which is who they got from Shreveport when they traded Vincent Espinoza. So things are going crazy in NAL. Shreveport, I predict Shreveport's going to beat the Idaho Horsemen this week, but those predictions will be tomorrow, NAL predictions. Also, we're going to look at whatever's going on that day, and we might look at a mock draft from the NFL. I don't know. We'll see what's going on tomorrow. I'll probably write an article tomorrow about Chris Russell Jr., the Hamilton Tigercats, so check that out on UFL News Hub, CFL News Hub. You can also check out UFL News Hub for UFL articles. Also check out my Substack, and if you enjoyed this show, subscribe to the channel and like the video. And anything to say, Wolfie D? Yeah, check out our short, Gridiron Grit. And me and Corky were really proud of that. And we thought things went really well with the shoot today. And it's our first single, and we'll do more songs if you want us to. That was a fan request. So if there's more fan requests, we'll do more songs. Okay? So thanks for your input. Thanks, man. What boy? Have a good night. Whoop whoop. Corky. Shut up. Okay. Good night.